Acton Methodist family, these are big days, and I'm so excited that you have chosen to click on this video. In this video, you're going to get to hear from several of our leaders in the church about what it means to give financially and how to plan to give financially. And you're going to be hearing from people who are in the pews with you every week and who are in ministry with you every week and who serve alongside you every week. This is their church family. I love Acton Methodist Church, and I love the fact that years ago, people gathered together to create this sanctuary that was opened in the spring of 1989. What a glorious, big vision this was to take place back in the late 80s. I'm so thankful for those who built what we now know as the administrative offices back in the 70s, and that was then the worship center. And what a big vision that was to go from the little white chapel that we have on campus to that next sanctuary. And I'm thankful for the people who had the vision to build the gym and the youth building and the education wing. And now the baton has been handed to us for this generation. And how are we going to put things in motion to prepare for the folks who will be here in 2 years and in 5 years and in 10 years, and also take care of the ones that we have? One of my favorite images in all of Scripture is how the Apostle Paul talks about the church, you and me, the body of Christ. He describes it as the bride of Christ, and how the bride of Christ needs to be lifted up and honored. And I'm so thankful for those of you who are praying for how you can honor, how you can adore this, the bride of Christ, that you are responsible for. Thank you for your willingness to pray. Thank you for your willingness to act. Thank you for your willingness to be a part of what God is doing. God is big enough.
Thank you for joining us today. You're going to hear details about the God is Big Enough campaign, what it includes, and the ministry benefits.
We're excited about looking forward to seeing how God is going to use us through this campaign. We know that He's big enough and can do this Himself, but we also know that by listening to His guidance, we can move forward and grow in our faith. We are already intensely praying for this campaign and hope that you are as well. We hope that you've used the prayer guide and have had a chance to pray through it either at home using the pictures or have come up to church to pray for each of the areas that need our attention. We know that God will guide us through this and that we will grow in our faith and our mission and our ministry.
So as we move forward through this together, I just want to give you some things to think about, kind of a trail guide, some steps that you may want to consider as we move forward. First is that realize this is a special offering. This is over and above your normal tithes and offerings. This is a special gift. So to move forward with that, you may need to think about what are some ways that we may need to reprioritize what we do, where we spend our money, what we're doing with it. Are we cutting out that one cup of coffee or that one small item a week that could add up to something big that we can use to contribute over the next 3 years to the church? So, and that's another thing to remember, is that this is meant to be spread out over 3 years, a 3-year time period, to allow you time to invest to what's going on and what we're doing here. Not intended to be an instantaneous gift. We're trying to spread this out for you. But the other part of that is that you're also in the driver's seat. You decide how you want to give. Do you want to give all at once? Do you want to give once a year? Do you want to spread it out every week? How do you want to give? You decide. You decide how much. How much do you want to contribute to this? What is God laying on your heart? So you're in the driver's seat here. Lastly, this gift is designated for a purpose. This is designated to upkeep and to repair what God has blessed us with here at Acton Methodist. We have a legacy that has been handed to us. Now, what are we going to do to hand that on to the future generations? There's a story in the book of Exodus about the people bringing gifts for the tabernacle, and I think about that story because what happens is the people bring so much that they have to tell them to stop bringing. We're done here. We've got more than we need. I would love for us as stewards of what God has blessed us with here to give so much that we have to say, stop. Let's stop.
I want to take this opportunity to talk about looking at life's priorities, particularly in the changed world we're living in today. I know we all come from different backgrounds, and I know we're all in different financial positions, but I also know that each of us can come with a way to reallocate our resources to generate a gift to glorify God and be cheerful in the giving. For example, how many of us had trips scheduled for 2020 that were canceled? I know Treva and I did. In fact, we rebooked it for 2021 and it's been canceled yet again. Do those resources provide an opportunity for us to provide a higher priority of use? And how about investments? I thought the financial world would come crashing down amongst COVID, but in reality it hasn't. Today's financial markets are actually 3 times higher than they were 10 years ago. Do your investments show those gains? Are those gains available to be reprioritized as a gift to your church? And how about your IRAs? Is the balance in your IRA higher today than you dreamed it would be in 2021? And if that's the case, is there an opportunity to take an extra distribution? And that distribution can be tax-free if you direct it payable to your church. Or maybe you've had an unexpected source of income. Maybe you've capitalized on this crazy real estate world that we're living in today. Or maybe you've had an inheritance. Or maybe there's still a stimulus check that's deposited in your bank account. Are those resources that are available? I know the biggest increase in income I had during my working career didn't come as a result of a raise. It didn't come as a result of a promotion. It came as a result of writing the last check for college expenses for my kiddos. If you find yourself in that position, either today or any time during this 3-year campaign, I ask you to consider redirecting those payments to your church. 2 Corinthians 8:12 tells us, "For if the willingness is there, the gift is acceptable according to what you have, not according to what you don't have." I ask you, please take the opportunity to reconsider your priorities to make a special gift to the God is Big Enough campaign. Thank you.
So you may be asking yourself, how are we going to come up with this $1.75 million? What's my part? How much do I have to give so that we achieve this goal as a team? And, although this is definitely going to be a team sport and participation is going to be really important in this, I'll tell you that your giving is between you and God, and only you and your family know what is the right amount for you to give to support this campaign. In Mark chapter 12, we're given the story of the widow's offering. In that story, we're told that, Jesus was watching the crowd put money into the temple treasury. And, he saw that there were wealthy people putting in large sums of money. Then he noticed a poor widow who put in just 2 copper coins to the treasury. And, he took this opportunity to teach his disciples. And what he was able to tell them was that, the widow, even though she had given so much less, had actually given more than the wealthy people. The Bible tells us that she had given all that she had to live on at the time. This story really emphasizes, that it's not the amount that you give, but it's that you're giving from the heart. She gave sacrificially. She gave according to her faith that God would use the gift, no matter how big or how small, for his purposes. And she trusted in God to provide for her. So I don't know about you, but this story is really convicting to me and also uplifting. All too often we give from a place of comfort and security and safety, and we don't really lean into the promises and what God is doing in our lives so abundantly. and give that sacrificial gift. You know, my wife, Michelle, and I believe in an awesome and generous God. And, you know, we give from a place of thankfulness and gratitude for what God is doing and has done in our lives in so many different ways. So for us, you know, that giving is very personal, and it is a matter of the heart and how we give for these types of things. So most of you may be thinking that this campaign is all about, you know, maintenance and bricks and mortar, and you'd at least, of course, be partially right. That's what the driver is for this campaign. As the trustees team lead, you know, I've firsthand seen the needs of our facilities, and I believe that what we're doing is investing in the right areas for the future of this church going forward. But, you know, that's not all. This is an opportunity to grow our faith by giving extravagantly, by giving sacrificially according to what God has already provided to us. So come back to the original question. So how are we going to reach this $1.75 million giving goal? I'd simply say by giving what is in our hearts to give, and let's let a big and glorious God do the rest.
So over the last few years, we've done a lot of amazing things. God is doing amazing things. But through all of these amazing things, we've learned that there are places, areas, ways of being hospitable and ministry ready, ways that we can grow, ways that we can do better. And so many of the things that you may hear about in our capital campaign, of course, are part of these things, but it's more than just high heels and toddlers tripping on carpet snags. Recently, we had a family come, and a couple, one of them was in a wheelchair, and they needed to use the facilities. And what we found out very quickly was that we don't have an accessible restroom right here in the lobby of our church that someone in a wheelchair can get to. And so what had to happen is Pastor Randy had to block off the bathroom so that her husband could go in there with her. And we can do better. So in our plan, we have a family restroom that is accessible, and I am so excited about that. So many things going on right here in our church, and we have partners and guests who would love to sing, and they would love to ring, and they would love to be able to pray and read from the platform, but they can't because they can't get up the stairs to the platform. I'm so excited that part of this capital campaign is a lift so that we can truly say we're ministry ready, so that we can be ready and hospitable to everyone who comes into this place. So every person called into ministry to grow in discipleship, well, they can do it right here.
All right, so now that you guys have a great understanding about our God is Big Enough Capital Funds campaign, we ask that you just continue to talk about it, continue to pray about it, and continue to think about it so you can truly make that next step with us.
So many of you will receive a commitment card in the mail. If you do not receive one in the mail, they will be also available here at the church or online at the link below. And this card will have a total 3-year pledge of what you plan to make over that 3 years. And also, what's very important is it also has how you plan to make that pledge over that 3-year period, whether it be in a lump sum, either monthly, quarterly, or annual payments. And that will help the church be able to know how to budget for these different projects along the 3-year period. So please get one of these cards and pray about it, and please help us give to the church. Thank you for watching this video, and just want to reiterate my personal experience here. I've had the chance to witness these facilities in use, and as they've developed as well. The CLC was just built when I got here as a child, and we were using the old sanctuary, which is now the administrative offices. And then the Whitechapel we used as our youth group center. And this, our beautiful sanctuary that we have now was in the process of being built when I got here. And So what we have to do now is not only make repairs and maintenance for the present time, but also for the future, as we leave a legacy here for our church to continue to grow.
All right, so as we prepare for the future and continue to prepare ourselves to be fully ministry ready for whatever comes our way, we ask that we all remember that the church is God's idea. We are followers, He is our leader, and we are called to follow Him. And we remember as a church in making these decisions that God is big enough.